Hello there, YouTube. Devin here again. As promised, this is going to be the first video in how to assemble your Smle safety. So this is the old version, the 5-piece safety as it's known, and we'll get it all disassembled here so you guys know how to take it apart and all of the parts that compose the 5-piece safety. We're going to show you how to put it together, how to line it up correctly, and how to actually attach it to the receiver of your Smle. Pay no attention to the clutter behind you. This is all actually part of the Smle project and a few other little bits and bobs here and there. But this is the original 5-position safety. They would later simplify this part by basically getting rid of this spacer right here. So these are the, if I can get them all to where they won't fall here, these are the 5 pieces of the safety. So, and here we have the collar and the pin that rotates to block the safety. We have the actual safety lever itself, and this is the piece right here that blocks the bolt. Okay, we have the flat spring that holds the whole thing into the receiver and keeps pressure on it, the screw to hold that whole thing in place, and then this is the spacer that came out, and this takes the place of the volley sight. So now the volley sight would normally go where this spacer would go in the older versions of the Smle. So if you have the original 5-piece safety, you can get a volley sight if you can find one and attach it just by removing this piece. So at least the rear volley sight, so the little peep for that. So the first thing we got to do is we got to take our lever here, our little safety throw, and our collar and pin that hold it in place. And you have to put this on there, and you have to rotate it so that way, see how that's way out of alignment? You want this little pin to be vertical with that handle there. So you got to rotate around these threads here and find the spot where it, see that's still a little over traveled. So you got to rotate because this lever here is threaded, the actual like safety handle. So that's where you want it, right there. See that where it's rotated? So now because this little piece right here, I don't know if you can see that because the light and the oil, is threaded right there. And so this piece is, because you need that threading, that camming surface, that's kind of going to force this piece to rotate into the path of the bolt rather than just pulling away from the receiver. So now that that's in place, we want to put on our spacer or volley sight if you have your rear volley sight still. Put that on over the axis pin here, that's part of the safety. All right, then you want to take your flat spring here. Now you can see the flat spring has those 2 little tabs on it, those 2 little dents. Those fit into that channel, those 2 little divots there in that flat safety. So you want those to be lined up and vertical. All right, so there you go. You have one basically fully assembled safety. Okay, and then you want to take that and you want to place it into your Smle. It should line up pretty much naturally. Hold it in place, and then you take this little screw, and the screw goes into the bottom part of that flat spring right there. Okay, and you could rotate it by hand just to get it started, and then you take your flathead screwdriver. Okay, rotate it into position, hand snug it up. You don't want to strip these parts obviously, but you need this snug in order to apply pressure for the flat spring to work. So just make sure you don't over tighten it, but don't, strip the screw either. All right, so now you can see that the safety functions. So now that would be in the safe position. And when we rotate it up, you'll be able to see this little piece right here rotate into the receiver ever so slightly. All right, and then if you pull it out, there you go. You can see the bolt handle kind of moving as I run the safety. So, and this would have the purpose, so there you go, when you see the safety down as it cams in, and when you rotate it up, it cams out. You might not be able to see it, so I'll get it a little closer here. All right, so if you see when I rotate this down, it cams in slightly. When I have it up, it rotates out of the way. So it pulls out of the receiver just a little bit. So that is how you attach an Smle safety to your Smle receiver. And make sure it's all the correct angle and everything like that. I haven't seen another video of how to do this, but this is video 1 of attaching your of building an Smle #1 Mark III. So you can see here I have the bolt in, but the bolt does not have a cocking piece or firing pin attached to it or anything. It doesn't even have a spring in it. That's just to demonstrate how the bolt would be influenced by the safety. So hopefully you like this video and you subscribe if you like this sort of thing. Hopefully you learned how to attach your own safety or how to do basic maintenance, how to remove it, how to assemble it and everything to make sure your parts are all well lubricated and protected with grease and oil to not rust, so your firearm can remain safe and easy to use for generations to come. These are, after all, history, and history deserves to be protected. So thank you all for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, you learned something, and now you all can do preventive maintenance on your firearms. So thank you all for watching. More videos like this to come as I obviously get parts and other stuff to make sure this whole weapon can be assembled correctly and safely, and for educational purposes be maintained to the best of my abilities. So thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for watching. As always, please leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed this sort of video. There's going to be much more of these to come. And if you think I'm worth a donation, you can go to the About tab of my channel, and there's a link to both my PayPal and my Patreon. PayPal is good for one-time donations. Patreon's good if you can subscribe every month, and you get some perks out of that too. So thank you all for stopping by, and hopefully I will see you all in the next video. Bye.